then suddenly I wake up and it's 2 in the morning and I'm lying in bed. And I can't move and I'm on a ventilator.
Those are the worst times.
Those are the worst times. But now,
Yeah.
I sleep through the night.
What made the difference?
Begin to see there is a future.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I am in Bedford, New York, just outside the city. Beautiful, 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 beautiful area. These houses around here are huge, amazing. There's horses, it's just gorgeous. And I can see why a lot of celebrities live in this area. Probably the biggest and most famous celebrity that lived here was Christopher Reeve. Just down here, right there. So this video, I'm going to be going to about 3 locations, and I've decided to start here. And this was not easy to put together, to say the least. For me to find, nice people, man, everybody's nice. I've been waved at about 20 times today. I love it. To find this location wasn't easy, and I did a lot of research. This wall helped a lot, and this driveway right here was Christopher Reeve's. And not going to give away the address, but it is online. It's easy. It's not easy to find if you look it up, but with a little bit more work after that, I was able to find it. And the Reeves do not own the property anymore, but there was a documentary on Christopher Reeve, I think came out last year, and there were some shots of him going down a long driveway in his wheelchair with his dog, and then he stopped and he was looking directly this way, and it was a very foggy, I think, morning when they took the shots of him. And so I was able to match up things from the mailboxes, and then because the aerial views that you get of the house when you look it up online takes you to a couple of different places, but around the general area. But with this wall in here. Anyway, let's talk about Christopher Reeve for a moment. Where do you start? Where do you start when it comes to Christopher Reeve? Obviously Superman. I mean, but then there's the accident that occurred, that left him paralyzed from the neck down, and using a ventilator to breathe. Kind of 2 parts to Christopher Reeve's life, to the public. That's people think of him as Superman, then they think of the accident. And of course, his beloved wife Dana, who passed away not too long after him of lung cancer, never smoked, healthy, tragic. And he had 2 kids, I think, with a previous wife, and then William with Dana. Left him at a very young age without both of his parents. The documentary is amazing. I highly recommend you watch it. And yeah, but Christopher Reeve, I've never seen a Marvel movie in my life, not one, but I'm a huge fan of Superman, and I'm a huge fan of Batman. And I remember seeing the original Superman, 78, back in the day, and who doesn't love that movie? He was Superman. Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, all these people that have played Superman, they're great. But for a lot of us, Christopher Reeve is Superman. And Somewhere in Time, lots of movies he made. Remains of the Day, I think he was in. There's a movie called Speechless that he's in with Michael Keaton and Batman. It was around 1994. They play rivals for the love of Gina Davis, basically. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. But I was just watching a scene the other day. There's this one scene where he shows up at Gina Davis's door sings a little verse of a Bruce Springsteen song, and he says, "Hey, want to go out?" To me, first I was dating at the time when we were watching it when we were young. We rewound that part because we found it hilarious. And I watched it the other day. It's still funny. I'm not sure why I found it that funny back in the day, but Christopher Reeve was very underrated as a comedian, as a comedic actor. One of his best friends, Robin Williams, of course.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Or something like that. You want to go out?
Christopher Reeve was really funny. He was really good, much more than Superman. He was Juilliard. He was a trained actor. And Superman 1, 2, 3, 4, some of them, but the first two, amazing. Amazing. We're going to get more into what happened to him and where he did die. He did not die at this home. This is where he fell into a coma, though, at this house here. Let's go take a look at what we can see. I saw some animals playing outside. But yeah, Christopher Reeve, I don't care how cheesy it sounds, but superhero on the screen, superhero in real life. Undoubtedly. I honestly thought this was going to be a lot harder for me to find once I got out here because of all the winding, twisty roads. But you can actually see, I'm going to be not too long here. There's sheep all playing down in the field. Right there, if you look just past these mailboxes. Did I say playing? Well, I don't know. They might be playing. I don't know. But yeah, isn't this gorgeous? Look at this. Look at this. How amazing it is. His house is much further up. This is not his house right there. His house is further up the drive. There's a few houses up there. But he came down this driveway with his dog in that documentary. I'll put some either clips or stills in that I have. And yeah, I was able to match it up. And then the 911 sign, which is an address, not a call for help or anything. That fence right there, sorry, the stone wall, you see as well. But it was right there. Christopher Reeve was right here. Isn't that incredible? Christopher Reeve is here. Like, he lived here, but he was right here in his wheelchair. And he was looking that way, I believe, up. Wow. What a gorgeous, gorgeous area. And this is where his final days were lived out. Okay, well, I'm going to take you to the hospital and tell you about his final day. The hospital where he passed away. You can hear the sheep baaing. Baaing? It's kind of cool. It's so tranquil, serene, and peaceful here. Wow. All right, so we just left the house where Christopher Reeve lived the final years of his life. And we're in Mount Kisco now. We're about 20 minutes away. It's about a 20-minute drive. Now, his accident, in case you didn't know, it was May 27th, 1995, and it was in Virginia. I think I said that. His horse just refused to make a jump. So he was in an equestrian event. It was the third fence jump, and the horse just suddenly stopped. And Christopher Reeve was holding onto the reins. He got tangled up in them. And then he landed head first. And it shattered his first and second vertebrae. So paralyzed him from the neck down. He has no he had no recollection of the accident. And here is the hospital. So it's, let me read that from far away. It's Northern Westchester, I believe. It says it right up there, Northern Westchester Hospital. And that's actually where Christopher Reeve passed away. So this is 9 years later, so 2004, October, he's known for his advocacy. He did so much work and fought so hard. Just, I think 6 days before he passed away, He did his last public appearance in Chicago at a rehabilitation institute there, October 9th. He attended his son Will's hockey game. He's gonna stay on this side, but I've already got a shot of the sign that I wanted. But that night he went into cardiac arrest at home at where we just left after receiving an antibiotic for an infection. He fell into a coma and he was taken here. It was about 18 hours later that he passed away. So it was October 10th. No autopsy was performed. They believe there was an adverse reaction to a drug that caused his death. Now, I know that the family was kind of all over. Dana I think she was in Los Angeles. This is just from memory. I think she was in Los Angeles. She never really left his side, but then he said, "Oh, go. You know, there was something in Los Angeles doing. Maybe attending a friend's play or something." She got back. She made it to his bedside, and it's in the documentary, which you know, I happened to turn on one night about a year ago, and I was mesmerized by it. But I still remember every part of it. And she was saying, I love you," over and over again. And I think his older son was in a cab on the way. He was out of town as well when he got the news. But yeah, this is where he passed away. Northern Westchester Hospital. It's so heartbreaking when you hear them all talking about their final moments. I'm assuming everybody who's watching this video, you've lost someone. And possibly you've been there. You've been in the room when they passed away. I know I have. And it's devastating. It's the hardest thing ever. So when you hear, it's good to watch the documentary to hear them talk about it, because you can they're regular people like you and me, and you hear their stories of grief and about dealing with the loss of not just Christopher but Dana as well, not so long afterward. And it's just you can relate, and you're going to be in tears. But it was here, and then like I said, this is where he passed away, and now we're going to go not too far to where his body was taken. Should also add, I don't know if I did in. There was a small memorial service for him not too far from here. I think it was in Connecticut, and then at Juilliard as well, where Robin Williams spoke. Glenn Close was there, I believe. Hillary Clinton, just some huge stars. I think Meryl Streep was there, I believe. Chris was loved, and I mean, he was screen, television. He was stage trained. He was a tremendous, tremendous actor. I think a lot of people think of him as maybe just Superman and not much more. I don't know. I hope not, because he's a really, really talented guy. Headed toward Juilliard. I'll show you where the funeral for Christopher Reeve, the memorial, I should say. It's more what it was. Just down here. So right up here, where all these people are gathered, there's a film festival going on right now, and I think they're waiting for an actor or an actress. Not sure who they're waiting for. This is where the Juilliard Theater entrance was. Still is, but just looks different. But you can match up all that in the background to where fans were across the street, and the various dignitaries and celebrities that were in attendance were getting out of their cars right around here somewhere. And again, you can see various things in the background that match up. So when I was told this is where the entrance was, still is an entrance, but just doesn't say Juilliard anymore, Juilliard Theater. But all that is definitely across the street. It's a big wall, you can see Those glass windows, that hasn't changed at all. But yeah, this is where all those celebrities were coming in and out. So I wasn't, as I'm here in New York City, I'm just adding this in. This is a location that I wasn't sure I was going to get to, but it's the Juilliard School where he attended with Robin Williams famously, and where his memorial was held. Right, this is the Ferncliff Mausoleum here at Ferncliff Cemetery in Hartsdale, New York. And this is where Christopher Reeve was cremated. His ashes are with his family. The crematorium is just around the corner. You can see what, there's a service going on somewhere in the mausoleum today. And I don't want to disturb it. As you can see, they are just leaving now. But I'm going to our left over this way. So I actually just went inside, and there's a gentleman working. So you see these two buildings here. That's the crematorium, right? Straight ahead. The pipes come up. There are two, and I saw them. And but I didn't start filming because there was a gentleman working, and they just had a service. So he just came up to me and we talked about the service, and he said, "Are you with the family?" I said, "No, I was not." He said, "Okay, you're not really allowed in here." He was very nice. He said, "You're not really allowed in here once the proceedings are going on." And what he meant by that was because the family's all left. What he meant by that was he was in the process of burning the body. But I saw the two places where they go in, side by side, if there's two, and ashes go up that way. Now, for Christopher Reeve, I've read that after the service, which would have been held in here, I was just in that little chapel, it's beautiful, his ashes were scattered in the wind here. I'm not sure if that's the case or if his ashes are with his family or scattered somewhere else. That's my video about Christopher Reeve. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and rest in peace, Superman, Man of Steel, an amazing actor, an amazing man, a hero. Yeah. And rest in peace to Dana Reeve as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all. Peace.